Hello, hello. Mic check, mic check. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, let's get started. First review time. Okay. Reliance. Wait, is my mouse moving? I don't think my mouse is moving. That's weird. Let me check. Ooh. Hold on. Let me see. I'm gonna hide for a while. Let me restart it. Okay, fixed. So this. Okay. Reliance. Trust. I don't have a reliance on something. Forgot. The state of depending on or trusting in something or someone. You place too much reliance on her ideas and expertise. Foresee. Foresee means similar to predict, but foresee contains a sense of intuition more intuition contained. I foresee you getting married by the time you are 30. Good. Concealed. Concealed means to hide something. They concealed the fact. Something like that. Kept hidden or where it cannot easily be seen. The robbery had been recorded on a concealed security camera. He concealed his laughter during the serious meeting. So is it like physically concealed? Good. Removal. Removal means removing. Like removable cream or something. The act of taking something or someone away from somewhere or something. Acne removal cream. Fulfilled. Fulfilled means satisfied or achieved. The state of, I don't know, the feeling is fulfilled. My dream is fulfilled. Feeling happy because you are getting everything that you want from life. Traveling the world has always been my dream, and I finally got to fulfill it last year. Manifold. Manifold means many kinds of or various. Many and of several different types. Many and various. There are manifold advantages to study English. Factual. Factual is something that is based on fact. Like the things that he is saying is not factual. That means the thing he's saying is not true. Using or consisting of facts. Cross-disciplinary. Cross-disciplinary means something like it means multi expertise, like I cannot explain. For example, a cross-disciplinary project might involve experts from fields like biology, engineering, and computer science working together to solve a complex problem that requires insights from each discipline. Yeah, was what I was trying to say. A cross-disciplinary project. Therefore means so. For that reason, we were unable to get funding, and so that we had to abandon the project, and therefore had to abandon the project. Accentuate means to make something standing out. To make something stand out. To put accent on it. So you can say, she accentuated her look with the diamond necklace or something like that. Emphasize or highlight, but more formal. Yeah. She accentuated her look with a beautiful diamond necklace and low-key earrings. Something doesn't compare means something you cannot compare. It's like describable or beyond something. Beyond compare. Something is exceptional, unparalleled, and cannot be equaled or matched by anything else. The nature beauty of that remote island doesn't compare to any other place I've visited. Critical. Critical means important. Of the greatest importance that carries urgency or indispensability. Breakfast is very critical for my brain to function. In spite of ってなんだっけ? Something that you can say he's friendly in spite of his appearance. Something like that. Used before one fact that makes another fact surprising. Yeah. Enact. Enact means to make a rule or law. You can say the company enact the policy that let employee work from remote. The company decided to enact a policy that allows employee to work from home on Fridays. Put something into action, especially to make something low. Okay. Done. Oops. Okay. Today we're gonna do chapter 19. Chapter 19. Okay. Chapter 19 is about intellectual property law. Okay. Let's change the keyboard. Okay. Intellectual property law exists to encourage innovation and creativity and to protect copyright, patents, and trademarks. Intellectual property law exists to encourage innovation and creativity and to protect copyright, patents, and trademarks. Okay. First, intellectual. Relating to your ability to think and understand things, especially complicated ideas. Intelligence と違うのかな? Intellectual. What's the difference between intellectual and intelligence? Intellectual and intelligence are related but have distinct meaning. In summary, while an intellectual person may demonstrate intelligence through their engagement with complex ideas and critical thinking, intelligence itself refers more broadly to cognitive abilities and problem-solving skills. An intellectual may possess high intelligence, but not all intelligent individuals may identify as intellectual. なるほど。なるほど。Intellectual 違う Intellectual この記事見てみるか。知性か知能か。Intellectual と intelligent は intellect 知性知能intelligent 似てるけどな。Intellectual refers to a person who engage in or is interested in intellectual pursuit, such as critical thinking, analysis, and scholarly activities. It often describes someone who values and prioritizes knowledge, learning, and mental engagement. Being intellectual is associated with qualities like curiosity, deep thinking, and passion for ideas and understanding. Intelligence refers to the capacity for understanding, learning, reasoning, problem solving, and adapting to new situations. It's a measure of cognitive ability and encompasses various skills including logical reasoning, memory, linguistic ability, spatial awareness, and emotional intelligence. Intelligence is often assessed through standardized test like IQ test. むずいね。 It's pretty hard to have an intellectual conversation with somebody as stubborn as Warren. Stubborn ってなんだ? Determined to do what he or she wants and refuse to do anything else. This job is very easy and not that bad money-wise, but it's not that intellectually stimulating. Shiteki. むずいな。Intelligent, intellectual,まあほぼ一緒でいいか。Okay. Intellectual. これも書いてるか。This job is very easy and not that bad money-wise, but it's not that intellectually stimulating. Stimulating ってよく聞くな。書いとこう。関係ないけど。If something is stimulating, it encourages new ideas. The classes look attractive and stimulating. Okay. Property law, intellectual property law, 知的財産権 exists to encourage. Encourage はわかるかな Encourage, discourage. Encouraging. Innovation. わかる。Innovation. これもわかるね。Innovate. You need to be innovative. Creativity もわかるね。Protect もわかる。Copyright もわかる。これだよな。Patent?
Patent.
Patent. Patent なんだ。Patent. 特許。The official legal right to make or sell an invention for a particular number of years. You should apply for a patent if you don't want your ideas stolen. In 1880, Alexander Graham Bell was granted a patent on a... The company took out a patent on genetically engineered tomato. Okay. Intellectual property law exists to encourage innovation and creativity and to protect copyright and copyright. Patent. Patents and trademarks. Okay. 次。Recently, with the advent of globalization of commerce, the law's fundamental principle that the scope of such rights is limited only to the state that grants them, and therefore that the rights granted by one state are independent of the rights granted by another, is being questioned. むずすぎ。長え。Recently, with the advent of globalization of commerce, the law's fundamental principle that the scope of such right is limited only to the state that grants them, and therefore that the rights granted by one state are independent of the rights granted by another, is being questioned. Oof. Okay, one by one. Advent. The fact of an event happening, an invention being made, or a person arriving. Advent calendar. Advent. The fact of an event happening. The advent of cheap flights over the last few years has really changed where I go on vacation. Life was transformed by the advent of the steam engine. What's the synonym? What's the synonym for advent? Emergence とか違うのかな? Occasion, function, gathering, happening, incident, affair, ceremony, festivity, occurrence, celebration. Emergence って何だったっけ? Emergence か。ちょっと違うか。The fact of something becoming known or starting to exist. What's the difference between emergence and advent? beginning or appearance of something, but there are nuanced differences. This typically implies that gradual appearance or coming into existence or of something new or previously unnoticed. It often conveys a sense of development or evolution. Advent, this generally refers to the arrival or coming of something significant or anticipated, often with a sense of importance or excitement. It can suggest the beginning of a new era or period. In essence, emergence focuses more on the process of coming into being, while Advent emphasized arriving or onset of something noteworthy. Arrival or coming of something significant or anticipated. こっちの方がわかりやすいかな。書いとこう。Okay. Recently, with the advent of globalization of commerce. Commerce はわかるかな。The laws これ The law's fundamental principle Fundamental はわかるね。Fundamental principle that's the scope もわかる of such rights Okay. The law's fundamental principle that's the scope of such rights is limited only to the state that grants. Limited もわかるね。Grant がわかんない。An amount of money given especially by the government to a person or organization for a special purpose. 補助金 To give or allow someone something, usually in an official way. かな。っていうと。I have finally been granted a visa. Take something for granted もあるか。Take something for granted. Take granted. Take for granted. To believe something to be the truth without even thinking about it. If you take situations or people for granted, you do not realize or show that you are grateful for how much you get from them. That's a nice word. Don't take people's support for granted. You have to appreciate it. Granted. similar to give, but more official. Okay. Limited only to the state that grants them. Okay. That gave them. And therefore, that the rights granted by one state are independent of the rights granted by another. Independent of the rights granted by another. And therefore, that the rights granted by one state, another state are independent of the rights granted by their ってことか。はいはい。is being questioned. なるほどね。grant のもうちょっと欲しいな。でも一緒か。ああ、これは言えるか。たらこれは別にしよう。こうしてこう。OK。I think I understand the sentence. Recently, with the advent of globalization of commerce, the law's fundamental principle that the scope of such rights is limited only to the state that grants them, and therefore that the rights granted by one state are independent of the rights granted by another, is being questioned. Okay, I understand. Next. As transporter, digital transmissions of domestically produced content can occur instantly, it is not feasible to regulate intellectual property under the current system. むずい。Transporter お腹すいた。Transporter, a long vehicle used for moving several large objects such as cars from one place to another. As transporter. 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 Oh, ないんだ。What does transporter mean? Or no, up. Transporter. Transborder refers to something that crosses or extends across a border, typically between two or more countries or regions. It can describe activities, movements, relationships, or issues that involve crossing political or geographical boundaries. For example, transborder trade refers to trade activities that occur between countries, while transborder migration refers to the movement of people across international borders. Transborder migration, transborder trade. As transborder. What does it mean by saying as transborder? Border. Yeah, word. Saying as transborder implies that something is occurring or existing across border, involving multiple countries or regions. For example, as transborder trade continues to increase. Regulations become more complex. Suggests that trade activities involving multiple countries are ongoing and have an impact on regulatory matters. Ah, むずいな。まあ、いっか。Is it same as transporter? No, transporter and transporter have different meaning. Transporter usually refers to a person or device that transports or carries goods or people from one place to another. そうだよね。Something that crosses or involves multiple borders. Digital transmission. The process of broadcasting or sending out something by radio or television, on the internet, etc., or something that is broadcast or sent out. Isn't it amazing that we can get live transmission from Mars? Broadband transmission has speeded up access to these sites. We rely on high-speed transmission of data. We apologize for the interruption to our transmissions this afternoon. Transmission. Broadcasting or sending out something. What does transmission mean? Communication, transfer of energy. The act or process of transmitting something, which could be various forms of energy, signals, data, or information. Okay. まあこれでいいか。The process of broadcasting or sending out something by radio or television on the internet. Domestically. domestically はわかるかな。domestic もわかるし、domesticate。domesticate って言うんだ。Give me some casual examples of using the word domesticate. It took a while for the stray cat to fully domesticate and feel comfortable indoors. I'm trying to domesticate my wild garden by planting more manageable plants. They managed to domesticate a few wolves and turn them into loyal companions. Domesticating a new technology often requires adapting it to fit every needs. These goats are pretty easy to domesticate compared to other livestock. 書いとくか。使いそうだもんな。domesticate。To bring animals or plants under human control in order to provide food, power, or company. To bring animals. Is it only for animals? To bring animals or plants under human control so that humans may use them as food for power or as friends. Hmm. それでいいかな。Okay. Domesticate. Produce. Produce はわかる。Instantly. Instantly もわかる。Feasible. Feasible. これはわからない。Able to be made, done, or achieved. 他にもありそうだけど。Achievable. What's the difference between achievable and feasible? Feasible and achievable are similar in that they both imply the possibility of something being done or accomplished. However, there is subtle difference in their uses. Feasible typically refers to whether something is practical, realistic, or possible to do under the given circumstances, considering factors like resources, time, and constraints. It implies that an idea or plan can be carried out successfully. Achievable refers specifically to whether something can be accomplished or attained successfully. It emphasizes the potential for success or accomplishment rather than just the practicality or possibility. In essence, feasible assesses the practicality of a plan. Are these interchangeable? often used interchangeably in casual conversation. However, in more technical or specific contexts, there might be a slight distinction in meaning as described earlier. Okay. Similar to achievable. Okay. Do you think it's feasible to do a day trip from Paris to London? わかりやすいね。Okay. Regulate. これもわかる気がするけどな。Regulatory. Regulation. Regulate. これいいかな。Okay. As transporter. Transporter is less common in every conversation compared to other terms like cross-border or international. I can't find it in a dictionary. Okay. Deも合ってるよね。Transporter. Okay. As transporter digital transmissions of domestically produced content can occur instantly, it is not feasible to regulate intellectual property under the current system. 国内で制作されたコンテンツがデジタル伝送によって一瞬で国境をまたぐこともあるため、現行制度で知的財産を規制することは実現不可能なのだ。As transporter digital transmission of domestically produced content can occur instantly, it is not feasible to regulate intellectual property under the current system. これはわかる。As transporter digital commission. これが難しい。In this sentence, digital transmission can't understand the structure in part of The phrase as transporter in this context serves to introduce the topic or scenario being discussed. It indicates that the following clause will describe a situation involving transporter digital transmission. In other words, it sets the stage for the main idea of sentence, which is about digital transmission crossing borders. As transporter digital transmission. Does it mean international digital transmission? That's correct. Transporter refers to crossing or extending across the border, so transporter digital transmissions would indeed refer to digital transmission that cross international borders. Okay. Digital transmissions that cross international borders. So, international digital transmission of domestically produced content can occur instantly. Domestically produced content. As transporter digital transmission of domestically produced content. そういうことか。のっていう。のが瞬間的に取り得ることか。So, it is not feasible to regulate intellectual property under the current system. As transporter digital transcommission of domestically produced content can occur instantly. Okay, now I understand. Okay, last sentence. Some people advocate that this could potentially be solved by the harmonization of law, namely the creation of common international standards to address issues, but others disagree. 間違えた。Forgot to change the keyboard. Some people advocate that this could potentially be solved by the harmonization of law, namely the creation of common international standards to address issues, but others disagree. Advocate. To publicly support or suggest an idea, development, or way of doing something. 支持するってこと？ What's the difference between advocate and support? Advocate and support both involve expressing approval or backing for something. To advocate means to publicly support or recommend a particular cause, policy, or action. It often implies activity promoting or campaigning for something. Advocacy, I don't know where's the accent, can involve speaking or acting on behalf of cause of group or group. While support can encompass a broader range of action or attitude aimed at assisting or endorsing something. We will continue to advocate further. むずいな。Supporting something means providing assistance, encouragement, or approval to it, while advocacy is more about activity, championing a cause. 支持。むずい。違いがあんまりピンとこないな。調べるか。Advocate, support, difference. While there is certainly overlap between these two provisions, they're not the same. Supporter refers to a wide net of potential resources. And advocacy specifically relates to assistance.「特定の原因またはポリシーを公に支持する」。やっぱ publicly っていうのが大きいのかな。Okay. Publicly. This professor is advocating a vegan diet. Some people advocate that this could potentially はわかるかな。solve もわかる。potentially be solved by the harmonization もなんとなくわかるか。harmonization. Give me some casual examples of the word harmonization. The new policies aim to achieve harmonization between different departments. We need to better harmonization of our schedules if we want to plan this trip together. The key to successful teamwork is the harmonization of individual strengths and talents. There's been a push for harmonization of regulations across international borders. The content was as a beautiful display of musical harmonization between the orchestra and the soloist. わかるかな？ Namely はあんまり。Specifically. Use when you want to give more detail or be more exact about something you have just said. I have visited the biggest cities in Italy, namely Rome, Florence, and Venice. Okay. Standard. これもわかる。Address. わかる。Okay. Some people advocate that this could potentially be solved by the harmonization of law, namely the creation of common international standards to address issues, but others disagree. Namely the creation of common international standards to address issues.でも address と solve って似てるんだかな。Does the word address have the meaning of solve? Yes, address can indeed mean to solve or deal with a problem, issue, or situation. Here are some casual examples. We need to address the issue of climate change before it's too late. Let's address the concerns raised by our customers and improve our service. The team met to address the challenges they were facing with the new project. その使い方はあんまり知らなかったかも。ここにないよな。Deal with particular problem. Can you please address this issue as soon as you can? She addresses the problem by implementing new companies working hard to address the shortage of skilled workers in the industry. これも書いておくか。OK。And people advocate that this could potentially be solved by the harmonization of law, namely the creation of common international standards to address issues, but others disagree. Okay. That's it. Let's review. Intellectual. Relating to your ability to think and understand things, especially complicated ideas. It's pretty hard to have an intellectual conversation with somebody as stubborn as Warren. This job is very easy and not that bad money-wise, but it's not that intellectually stimulating. Stimulating means if something is stimulating, it encourages new ideas. Patent. The official legal right to make or sell an invention for a particular number of years. You should apply for a patent if you don't want your ideas stolen. An event. The fact of an event happening and invention being made, or a person arriving or coming of something significant or anticipated. Anticipated ってどういう意味? To imagine or expect that something will happen. Okay. Acceptation? The advent of cheap lights over the last few years has really changed where I go on vacation. Life was transformed by the advent of the steam engine. Grant. To give or allow someone something, usually in an official way. Similar to give, but more official. I have finally been granted a visa. An amount of money given especially by the government to a person or organization for a special purpose. A local authority grant. Take something for granted. If you take situations or people for granted, you do not realize or show that you are grateful for how much you get from them. Don't take people's support for granted. We have to appreciate it. Transmission. The process of broadcasting or sending out something by radio or television on the internet. Domesticate. To bring animals or plants under human control so that humans may use them as food for power or as friends. It took a while for the stray cat to fully domesticate and feel comfortable indoors. Feasible means achievable, able to be made, done, or achieved. Do you think it's feasible to do a day trip from Paris to London? Feasible. What's the difference? Feasible and achievable? Practically か。これかな。Advocate means support, but publicly. Namely means specifically address, means to deal with a particular problem or need. Okay, chapter 19 is over. Nice. Chapter 20. There are 40 chapters in total, but not sure. I'll do it until the last chapter. But in the next stream, I'm gonna do chapter 20, which is about international law, which we were talking about in chapter 19. Okay. Doesn't seem that difficult. That relief. Okay. Chapter 20. I'm gonna finish the stream here. See you in the next stream on Tuesday. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.